The match is finished. Manchester United 1, West Ham United 0. The only goal of the game coming 7 minutes into extra time from McTominay, the Manchester United substitute. The Hammers are out of the FA Cup at the 5th round. David Moyes using 6 of his 9 substitutes on the night. West Ham beset by injury before the game and sustained even more injuries in the game as early as the 16th minute when, Angelo Ogbonna went down injured and had to be replaced. Diop, his replacement, eventually having to be replaced. As I said, the Hammers out of the FA Cup. It's been a valiant performance, but at the end, it's just not quite been enough. Manchester United go on to the 6th round. Pinky, your thoughts on the final whistle? Pinky's on the phone, telling someone else his thoughts on the final whistle. So, Noam, let's come back to you, buddy, first of all. Manchester United 1, West Ham United 0. The Hammers out of the FA Cup, but, we were unlucky on the night. There wasn't much between the sides.
Sorry, I'm on the phone.
Is there anyone left? No. Oh, he has actually got on mute. I thought he was joking. Well, Rio, it's it's you and me then. Hopefully, you're not on the phone or Manchester United 1, West Ham United. Is there anybody out there? We've suffered the same fate as David Moyes' West Ham tonight. They're all dropping like flies on the pitch at Old Trafford. They're dropping like flies down here at KUMB TV. Fortunately, we still have got Rio left though. So, Rio, what do you make of it?
It's a tough one to take. That I started off the night full of doom and gloom, thinking we're going to get 3 or 4-0 hiding. They played all their pacier forwards. I thought it was going to exploit us down the flanks, through the middle with the pace, because we aren't the quickest at the back at times. But the first 30 minutes was a bit like Rorke's Drift, but only the Zulus this time round didn't have spears, their kazoos, because they huffed and puffed and didn't create a lot, Manchester United. We slowly grew into the game. The second half, we was by far the better side.
Yeah.
We just couldn't get that chance. When we did get the opportunities, we found the wrong players in the wrong positions. We found Souček more on the right-hand side. A couple of times he put the crosses in. You want him, with his aerial prowess, in the box causing the havoc, if not heading the ball, creating a space for somebody else, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Start the extra time period. We looked a little bit leggy, a little bit tired. We dropped deep and deep. Eventually, they got their chance. But that come from the first thing that Declan Rice did wrong all game. Sloppy bit of play on the edge of their box. They break away with pace really quickly. Ends up McTominay firing home. But given the circumstances, given the players at our disposal, given the fact we had 2 or 3 injuries, we had a massive rejig at half-time. We had to throw in a young kid up front who never played a minute of first-team football in his life. We produced a really dogged, resolute, and disciplined performance. And no, I'm proud of the way we performed tonight.
Yeah.
It wasn't perfect, but we did a job. And I was unlucky to come away with a defeat there. I thought we deserved at least to take it to a penalty shootout. But it just wasn't to be. But I'm proud of the lads. I'm proud of the way that we defended, and I'm proud of the way that we responded to the adversity we suffered all night.
There it is, Rio's post-match summary as West Ham go out of the FA Cup at the 5th round stage, going down 1-0 to Manchester United. I feel rather disappointed, Pinky, to be honest with you. At the start of the game, I was sort of expecting us to lose tonight because of the fact that, Antonio was out and, 1 or 2 other players needed resting and were perhaps not fully fit, having played so many games. But I kind of feel a bit disappointed now because we put in a performance there and we worked and matched them for pretty much 120 minutes. Disappointing.
Yeah. And disappointing, but at the same time, we can take some comfort from the fact that we competed. We didn't roll over. We caused them a few problems, not too many significant ones, it must be said. I wouldn't gild the lily too much in terms of us peppering Henderson with work all night. But yeah, we stayed in the game. But how many times do you have to say it? It's a wafer thin squad, and what I'd say is if Antonio started that tonight, we'd have won that tonight. But equally, a Manchester United supporter could say, yeah, but if we played Fernandes from the start, we'd have won more comfortably. And it's one of those. It's it was always going to be reasonably close, but it just exposed yet again the paucity of options that David Moyes has at his disposal compared with his counterpart. I mean, tonight, not a precise sum, but Manchester United's fullbacks probably cost more than our entire starting 11. There wouldn't be a lot in it, and that's the difference between the resources that the managers have. But of the players he could put on the field tonight, I thought the second half we competed very well indeed. Probably had the better of the second half. The goal we conceded, it was unfortunate. I mean, we were attacking. There you go. With committed men forward, a heavy touch from Declan. It happens. They tore upfield, and it still needed a moment of magic from Marcus Rashford just to lay the ball on for McTominay, just to hit it first time and stick it past Fabianski. So a good goal by them, but in no way did we disgrace ourselves tonight. I thought we competed. Disappointed, yes, but I'm afraid if your club is structured in a way where the chairman will only fund sufficiently to stay in the Premier League, this is what you get. We need more. We deserve more as supporters. I don't think I could blame the manager tonight. I think he put out the best team he could. We could debate Ben Rama and Noble, what have you, but Noble, I don't think, put a foot wrong tonight. Benny gave the ball away 4 or 5 times in the time he was on the pitch. And yeah, I can live with that because he's trying to make things happen. But really, the manager played just about every player he could, bar Fabian Balbuena. I mean, he's the only outfield player not to get a game. Alvarez maybe, but basically the difference is Manchester United are bringing on Luke Shaw as a fullback, at what, 40 million quid they paid for him whenever they did. Bruno Fernandes, to make the difference. Cavani, that's the quality that Solskjaer can call upon. And I'm afraid David Moyes didn't have that option. So we competed, but the bottom line, we're out of the cup. That's it. It's over.
It is over for another year. Unfortunately, that's West Ham's cup exploits for the season well and truly ended. Slightly disappointing, known, but we gave a good account of ourselves. But in terms of the manager, David Moyes, any criticism from you for the team you put out there at the start, and the timing and the personnel used for the substitutes? I think you may be on mute, buddy, actually. We can't hear you at the moment. There you go. Still can't hear you. We're just waiting for Gnome to hit the mute button there and let us know what his thoughts are post-match. For the record, we still can't hear you, Gnome. I'm afraid. I'm not quite sure why. For the record, we are going to make this a very short post-match review because obviously the game ran over for about 35 extra minutes, and I've already seen Rio yawning once or twice there. Understandably, it's been a long day for some of you guys working hard out there in the field. No, we still can't hear you, buddy. I'm not sure why. You're not on mute this end, but
it's divine intervention.
Gnome about to go and make a cup of coffee by the looks of it. Not quite sure what that one meant, but anyway, we are. Man of the match. Let's do man. Gnome's gone off to try and presumably restart everything at Gnome Towers. Man of the match, Pinky, for you, for West Ham. Who really stood out of the 16 players on show tonight? Or was it 17? 17, wasn't it in the end? Not 16.
Who's I start with? Fabianski. I have to say, 2 absolute top draw saves to keep us in the game. And one down to his left, whereby it had taken a wicked deflection off Cresswell's derriere, and he got down, took it onto the post and sent it wide. And the other one, he stood tall to Marcus Rashford, and I'm sure I saw him mutter under his breath, winner, winner, keep your dinner, after he kept Rashford at bay. And those two moments created the opportunity for us to actually stay in the game and keep battling away. So Fabianski would be my man of the match tonight. But as for two moments of genius, not because he was busy all night, because he wasn't, but the two bits he had to do, he excelled at, and he would be my man of the match this evening.
Great stuff. Fabianski for Pinky. Rio, who would you go for?
I was going to give it to the fourth official, because the amount of subs he had to make, get the old board up, I thought he was going to get RSI. Then I realised it was a certain person who contributed to our misery on Saturday, I believe. So, not for me. It's going to be Craig Dawson. I thought was absolutely outstanding once again today. Up against three very pacey forwards initially. Brought on Cavani. They didn't get a lot of change out of him at all. And after, I just thought he marshalled the defence really well. He lost his defensive partner in Ogbonna.
Yeah.
It didn't make a job of iota of difference to him. He absolutely superb at the back tonight.
Okay, good stuff. So one for Fabianski, one for Dawson. Gnome, thankfully we've got you back now. Who
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Right, I don't know what happened there. It was all caused by my mum ringing, despite the fact that I told her before, don't ring before, during, or after a game. And so I'll have to have words of which part of that doesn't she understand.
Well, hellos all round to Mrs. Gnome. I hope she's doing well, and Mr. Gnome as well. Man of the match for you, Gnome, tonight?
I'll go with Fabianski. Since Rio mentioned it, I would say a quick word about the referee. And if that was Mike Dean under the mask doing the fourth official, let's hope he watched Paul Tierney in action, because he had a fine game today. He was unobtrusive. He let the game flow. There were a couple of times when Man United players rather theatrically went to the floor. He wasn't having any of it. He just saw himself there as somebody to facilitate a game. And I thought he had an excellent game, Mr. Tierney. There may be the odd error in there. I don't know. I didn't spot any. But that was an object lesson in how to referee a football match. And it was the total opposite of what we saw at the weekend. So fair play to him. Let's hope that he doesn't get sort of swallowed up and told off for not doing certain minor things, which which the bureaucrats like to see happen.
Okay,
So
your man of the match tonight? Who would you?
Fabianski, as I said earlier on.
Fabianski,
yeah.
Put it in your diaries. There it is. Gnome praising to the hilt a match referee. Lovely to hear. Good stuff. But I agree. He did a fabulous job tonight, didn't he? Didn't put a foot wrong. My man of the match, I'm going to go for Mark Noble. Out there tonight, 2 hours, didn't do anything spectacular, but I don't think he put a foot wrong tonight. Moved the ball nicely, quickly, didn't sort of stifle our play at all, put in some big challenges when needed. And I'm just going to give it to him for the fact that he's barely played this season and he came in and didn't look out of place. Mr. West Ham for me. So interesting to see a little bit of a spread then, really, for man of the match suggestions. The guys on watching us live on YouTube, Nick going for Ben Johnson, Mark English going for Mark Noble, Steve Law, Dawson, Sean West, Craig Dawson also, and Hobo also going for Dawson. So Dawson getting quite a few plaudits tonight. Before we end, gentlemen, we should dive in to the forums. I'm not sure if this is going to be a particularly good idea, Rio, from a couple of comments I've seen on the YouTube chat about the general atmosphere on the KUMB.com forum match thread this evening. But bring us the best and the worst, buddy, of what's been said over there right now.
Okay, yeah, there's it's not a particularly pleasant place to be tonight. There's a lot of criticism for Moyes, the way we set up, the team selection. He's also took a lot of grief over the substitution of Odebiki. Said it's destroying the lad. Yeah, it's really not a happy place tonight, and there's not a lot of constructive criticism coming out. Just a lot of vitriol. Brother Nero's put, we played from penalties from the start. We showed no intent throughout and got what we deserved. Moyes once again shown why his record versus the big teams is so shocking. Even in the cup tie, he tries to play for the goal difference. Hammer PDC. I'm really loath to slag the guy off, but the last 4 days has been a mighty fine mess from David Moyes. Strongest team at Fulham, gash your side out for one of the biggest games of the season. He got the lineup wrong, changed it at half time, take 2 subs on and off again. He's worked wonders for me, but the blame's got to lie squarely at his door. Vienna, pathetic performance, pathetic managers, ridiculous lineup, subs. Moyes got everything wrong tonight. Yeah, and that's about...
That's harsh.
As good as it gets. And yeah, it's incredibly harsh, incredibly negative, and don't agree with any of that. Look at the defensive performance we put in tonight against what is, what they said, second in the league.
Yeah. Well, what did Greenwood do today? What did Rashford do today?
Exactly. Yep.
One touch, Rashford. Okay, we'll give you that one touch. But what did Martial do today?
We weren't out of that game until,
you know,
possibly the little slip up from Rice has just cost us. But we was in that
I
game.
would just point out in the league, Manchester United are the top scorers in the league with 49 goals so far this season. I mean,
it took them extra time to get one past a makeshift defence that we had in the end. I can't. I'm not having that. I don't think Moyes could have put out a much different side to the one he did. I think the way the game was played was dictated by the way the opposition played, and I thought we handled that very well. It didn't look like the Liverpool game where it was rabbits in headlights. We always looked as if we could perhaps do something going forward. Second half, I thought we were a better side in the second half.
Yeah.
Without working Henderson enough. But so no, I think that sort of criticism is harsh this time. Yeah.
Of course, let's not
dare I
forget,
say, I think it's just a lot.
Sorry, Rio, go on.
Sorry, no, I just think there's a lot of knee-jerk reactionism. You know, we've not had the best 2 performances. Look how well we played against Aston Villa last week.
Yeah,
we destroyed them playing free-flowing crisp football. We've got an incredibly small squad. We've had injuries tonight. We've had to leave players out because our main striker's unfit. Our only striker's unfit. We had to leave our loan signing out, who could have possibly played up top in a kind of a false number 9 role because he's obviously not eligible. We've got so very few options. And we was in that game from the word go, you know.
Yeah.
We was under the cost for the first half hour, but after that we grew into it. We was the better side for much of it. And I think all the negativity on the forum tonight is completely unjust, completely undeserved, and it's not looking at the bigger picture. It's not a knee-jerk reactionism, which I completely am against in this instance.
You know,
Rio, do you think a lot? Sorry.
In play, you know, I was more concerned that we were committing too many forward, and when we conceded the goal, is when our defensive midfielder has a heavy touch, 21, maybe 22 yards away from the Manchester United goal. Okay, so if that's the manager being negative or setting us up wrong, yeah, I could say maybe he has, because do you know what, Declan, you should be 20 yards deeper than that. You know, if the manager was trying to just play I'll play for penalties card, Rice would not have been that far forward, and we would not have been trying to grab a goal. The fact that we were is partially contributing to why we lost. And I say partially because I wouldn't lay it all at Rice's door. You know, he's had a heavy touch, but it happens. But it's more the fact that, could you imagine Jose Mourinho in those same circumstances? He wouldn't have his defensive midfielder that far forward up the pitch, because if he was, he wouldn't be playing the following week. So I think the criticism's being levelled at David Moyes there this evening. As disappointed as everyone is, I think they're harsh. I mean, come on, what are people expecting?
Do you think, gentlemen, that a lot of this criticism is from people who are just looking for an opportunity to criticise David Moyes. You know, it's not really a fair reflection on what we've seen tonight. I think we all agree that. Do you think this is just people kind of reverting to type, and it's like, you know, I didn't want David Moyes at the beginning. You know, I've been quiet while we've been doing well, and now is an opportunity for me to dig him out. Do you think there's an element of something in that? No.
Yeah, I think there possibly is. That and the fact that there's been a excuse me, an atmosphere of, you know, we're doing well in the league. You know, we've got a good place in the league, so why not throw things at the cup as well? Yeah. Because you know, I'm disappointed that we're out of the cup, and it's yeah, you've got to give the fact that we were playing Manchester United, that's got to be factored into the equation, because that's the way they play. And the fact that we nullified them for the full 90 minutes and really, as we say, one slip and, you know, think things go right. You know, that's got to be, there's got to be some sort of credit given for that. So, yeah, I mean, I guess knee-jerk reactions. It's one of the sort of downsides of having a forum, that, you know, the second that the final whistle go, people can come on and say, "I told you so." Yeah. But you know, it's a combination of that, and there will be those that are disappointed that perhaps we didn't throw the kitchen sink at them, which kind of doesn't reflect really the practicalities of the game at times. And so, yeah, we're all disappointed, but you know, we're out of the cup. Okay, Monday we've got Sheffield United, and anything we can do to send them down. You know, it's back to business, you know.
Well, yeah, very, very much. I mean, we'll come on to that in a minute. Now, I want to have a quick word about Sheffield United before we go, because yes, we're all going to be looking forward to that one, I guess. But I think the point is just my final point on Moyes and the criticism that we all seem to think is rather harsh and unfair. I mean, the other point is, you know, people say that we didn't go for it. And we didn't, you know, we had one shot on target in the entire 120 minutes. That's a fact. But the point is, Manchester United only had 2 or 3 until the final couple of minutes, when, you know, we were pushing forward, desperately looking for an equaliser. But let's not forget also that I think it was the 90th minute of that game, West Ham won a corner. Craig Dawson was on the end of it. And with a little bit more luck and a little bit better connection, West Ham will be in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. I mean, those are the fine margins we're talking about, aren't we? You know, we were that close to being in the quarterfinal. Pinky, Rio, I don't know if either one of you guys want to take that up.
And you know, from my perspective, it is fine margins, you know, and yeah, as was the Ben Rama offside when he should have worked the keeper better than he did when he had an opportunity. You're not going to get a hatful of chances at Old Trafford. Even if they put their youth team out, you're simply not going to get a hatful of chances. It doesn't happen. And you know, I just feel that some of the criticism is unwarranted. I mean, it's people's opinions, and they're entitled to them, as the same as we all are about any of our opinions. But you know, we were not parking the bus tonight, and that's the thing that I'm sort of a little bit aggrieved about in some of the comments is, you know, the way some of the comments are coming across is as if we had 10 men behind the ball at all times. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We controlled almost all of the second half. We played very large spells of that game camped in Manchester United's half in the second half. So if that's us parking the bus or being negative, well, we're setting a pretty high bar there. I think we had opportunities to win the game. Dawson, you know, if a better connection, he might have got his head actually on target. A slightly better connection, it might have gone as far as Souček, who's following in at the far stick. And on another night, you get the goal. But you know, consider who we're up against there. Rashford. If you said to our supporters, how many of you, if we could sign Marcus Rashford, would say no? Not many, and yet he barely had a sniff this evening for Manchester United. Not because we'd put 6 or 7 players around him, Yeah, but actually we defended well as a unit. Again, in play, I commented when they tore up field on one occasion, we had 7 West Ham United players come back as a unit, pack the box, and actually make sure they couldn't get a goal scoring opportunity. Are we expected to suddenly start saying that's bad football? I think that's good football. Attack as a unit, defend as a unit. And in terms of what the manager could do tonight, I think he did everything he could without going the full Ian Pearce up top route. You know what I mean? It's What else could he have tried tonight?
Exactly.
Realistically, that would have made the difference.
Well, I think if I was to have any criticism of Moyes tonight, it would perhaps be with the centre of midfield and the shape of it, because Thomas Souček, who's been imperious since he came to the club, let's be honest, in a year, I felt was a little bit like a fish out of water in a slightly more advanced role tonight. But I say that knowing that if Souček had been playing the regular deeper role and Mark Noble had been placed in that slightly more advanced position, that Moyes would be getting pelters anyway for putting the slow and aging Mark Noble in such an advanced role. So I guess he couldn't win, could he really?
And if he picked Ben Rama instead of Noble and put Souček in his usual position, having just seen us get completely dominated by the might of Fulham a few days ago, never mind criticism on the forum tonight, I'd have been giving them pelters all night on here, because it's kind of like, how many times would you need to see it with your own eyes? Yeah, that actually Ben Rama, when he has to do more of what I call the donkey work, perhaps isn't the play. And that's not running around. He runs plenty, but he also gives the ball away plenty. Perhaps isn't quite physical enough in one or two areas, and perhaps lacks the vision needed to play more in the middle of the park. So almost what I'm saying is, whatever Moyes did tonight, short of winning, he was going to get some stick, and that squares the circle back to are people just waiting for the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. As we said, I think there's some people, unfortunately, are always looking for an opportunity to, be critical, and as if you're a fan of West Ham, you're always going to get that, aren't you, at some point? So there you go. West Ham, unfortunately, unable to win tonight at Old Trafford. One team that have won at Old Trafford, however, this season, and most surprisingly, is Sheffield United. And it's the Blades who West Ham face in our next Premier League game, which I'm sure we'll all be looking forward to as huge fans of the Blades, as we all are. We have, of course, crucially, perhaps, a week off the game, or 6 days anyway. It's next Monday evening. West Ham face the Blades. It looks like Gnome, they're certain for the drop now. It doesn't look like anything, it'd have to exceed the Great Escape of 2007, I think, for Chris Wilder's lot to stay up. What do you make of that game? And do you think this is going to be a West Ham put back on an even kill, in sense of this is not a certain 3 points, but it's a very good opportunity for West Ham to take 3 points, isn't it? And put this tonight's defeat in the back of our mind and push forward again in the league.
Well, the thing to do is look at tonight. It's a cup game. Okay, close that draw for the season. Now let's go back to work. And if I were Noble, I'd be getting in there and I'd be telling every single player, look, that lot, they tried to kill our club. What are you going to do about it? You've got an opportunity to really lay into them and put them down. I mean, they've been playing a bit better of late, and it wouldn't surprise me to see them finish just above West Brom, because West Brom look equally doomed. But they're also looking like a team that, one of those teams that relegation sort of happens to, where they'll play well when they'll get an equal. Who did they play at the weekend? They got an equaliser, didn't they? And then just they thought, well, we've done the hard work. Suddenly they were 2-1 down, I think. And I mean, again, what sort of side goes out there, of course, depends on how many of the walking wounded when we get back from Manchester. are fit and willing. I mean, hopefully, Bonner looked a little bit miffed at not being able to go back on.
Yeah.
But equally, it looked a nasty sort of knock that he got. And, you know, even when he was walking around the side of the pitch there, he was hobbling badly. So I'm kind of hopeful that Moyes just thought, well, that's going to hurt. That's going to be a nasty bruise. Let's just cut our losses with O'Connor for tonight and keep him fresh for Monday. And, yeah, we get an extra few hours where he's not actually running on a damaged foot. That we can then sort of look at it, see what it's like in the morning, and get to work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, strongest possible team out there. Let's see where Antonio is. Again, I wonder how much of Antonio tonight is, you know, given the state of his hamstring. It's cold up there. Let's make sure he's, you know, we can get him through as many league games as possible. But yeah, get the strongest team you get out there, go out, Noble, get in their ears, tell them what they try to do to us, and then just boom, let's see, go for it.
On Antonio specifically, Gnome, do you buy that from David Moyes that he was close to playing tonight, or do you think there might be a little more to the injury than you know, might meet the eye?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you've got there's no reason for saying he was close to playing tonight if he wasn't, unless yeah.
Well, it could be mind games, I suppose, trying to, you know.
But I mean, how does that benefit? You know, when you're playing Man United, well, if you say, oh, yeah, he's not playing, but he was close to it. Well, you know, he's not playing. So what? So, I for one would have rested him tonight anyway.
Yeah.
Had he been fitter. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. As I say, let's get the strongest team out and see how it goes. I've just thought of one benefit from tonight for the world, by the way, of that match going into extra time.
Okay, go on.
I'm given to believe that the match going into extra time prevented the BBC from broadcasting yet another episode of Mrs. Brown's Bloody Boys. So, hey, rest of the world, thank us later.
I've got to confess, I've never seen this program. I've seen an awful lot of criticism for it, but I dare say I never shall.
So,
what
half an hour of my life I will never get back.
There it is. Sheffield United, Pinky, opportunity to do the double over the Blades and send them back from whence they came. You looking forward to that one?
Yeah, absolutely. And tonight I'd have taken a win in the 92nd minute off anyone's backside, you know, 1-0. Yeah. Against Sheffield United, I'd like to see us score in the first minute, the second minute, the third minute. You get the drift. No amount of goals could pile up that would satisfy my desire to see them completely and utterly humiliated. What they did to West Ham United was despicable, and I hold them to account for them shoving the roar in. That was the real start of our major financial problems, big time. And from then, draw the line all the way through the Icelandics going bust, and then we end up with Gold, Sullivan and Brady coming in, and a trip to the London Stadium. If we didn't have to settle the 25 million quid or whatever it was to Sheffield United, our world might have looked very different. We might have been a more attractive proposition to a different buyer than GSB. So yeah, I think Sheffield United have got plenty to answer for. I'd love to see us thrash them. My only regret is that actually it won't be the game that actually sends them down. Because you know what? Yeah, I'd go the full Keegan. I would go the full Keegan on that. And you know, they just lack the class. And yeah, they've got different ownership and all the rest of it now, and different players and blah, blah, blah. And I know a couple of Blades fans, and they seem perplexed that we won't let it go. Really? You know, oh, just have the 25 million quid. Yeah, you know, oh, we'll let that go. Yeah, you know, you must be joking. And, you know, just the whole principle behind it. Yeah, we're going to blame someone else because actually we weren't good enough that season. It's laughable. And yet they get away with it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope we stuff them. I hope we thrash them. I hope Chris Wilder loses his job. I hope all of their players just burst into tears in the middle of the field. I hope Tony Curry, you know, is looking at it in disgrace. I mean, I could go on here, but I'm not a fan. Yeah.
There it is. Pretty comprehensively done by Pinky. Rio, is it time we let it go? I mean, it's like 13 years ago now. Surely we should move on and forget what happened then. I mean, it's, you know, it's not our money after all.
No, certainly not. Certainly not. We're football fans. We don't let things go. We let things simmer and fester for years, decades, centuries. Let's face it, Sheffield United, I don't think I've enjoyed a game against him since Jimmy Quinn notched a hat-trick about 30 odd years ago and we won 5-0. Every game we play against them is dour, niggly, aggressive, dare I say at times dull. What they've done to us needs no more discussion after Pinky's so nicely put it. My only problem with the game on Monday is that they're on a little bit of a semi-resurgence, aren't they? They picked up a few points. I was hoping they would go for the whole season without a win. They've obviously ruined the form book there. It's going to be a tough game. They're probably coming a little bit of confidence. They've probably got a little bit needle about them, about us. But I think Moyes and his staff are going to get the squad together, give them a couple of days off, ease them into the game on Monday, and I hope we win 27-0.
I'd buy that for $1. Well, there you go. For what it's worth, gentlemen, I couldn't agree with all of you more. I hope they crash and burn, go back, as I said, whence they came and never darken our doorstep again. What they did as a club was absolutely despicable. Your supporters are awful. Your march on London was a complete farce. And as for Sean Bean...
I knew the bastard weren't to be trusted.
So, yeah, looking forward to that one. And as I say, totally echo what the chaps here say. And let's send them down as they wanted to do to us all those years ago. That is about it for tonight. It's been disappointing in the end, but not thoroughly disappointing. West Ham put up a fight and took Manchester United to extra time at Old Trafford, but unfortunately, it was misery in Manchester at the end of the game. The Hammers beaten in the 97th minute by McTominay's goal, the only goal of the game, 7 minutes into extra time. As a patched up West Ham team, which made 6 substitutions, a record 6 substitutions in a competitive match, fell to defeat and fell out of the FA Cup very narrowly, the narrowest possible margin. But heads held high, West Ham can come back down the M1, certainly with a great deal of credit for the performance tonight. It wasn't quite good enough in the end, but there's an awful lot of teams that will go to Old Trafford this year and in the future and come away with nothing. But that's it. That's it for tonight. And my thanks to the rest of the team. It's been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure as always, bantering and chatting with you, gentlemen, to Rio, to the Pink Palermo and to Gnome as well. Our thanks to you guys on YouTube for joining us throughout the game, keeping us company. We love to see your comments and always. So thank you very much for sticking with us. We are back on Monday for West Ham United versus Sheffield United. Let's stick it to them, boys. Let's stick it to them. Until then, come on, you Irons.